Misreading a label wrecked my life for a week. So I recently decided to clean up my act. Cut out alcohol, quit smoking, start eating better, the whole self-improvement deal. I was feeling good about it until my body started craving something to take the edge off at the end of the day. No more beer, no more weed, just me, my thoughts, and an overwhelming desire to unwind. That's when I found this supplement called Serenity at a fancy organic store. The label promised relaxation, better sleep, and an overall sense of calm. Seemed like the perfect thing to fill the void, so I grabbed a jar without thinking twice. That night, I brewed myself a big old mug, following the instructions, or so I thought. The tea had a strong, earthy flavor, but nothing too bad. I downed it, sat back, and after a while, I actually felt pretty relaxed. This was it. I had found my new ritual. Next morning, absolute disaster. I woke up feeling like I had been hit by a truck, nauseous, dizzy, and weirdly sore all over. I brushed it off as withdrawal from quitting my usual vices and went about my day. Then halfway through breakfast, it hit me. Violent, unstoppable, nuclear-level diarrhea. The kind that makes you question your life choices. Now, a smarter person might have connected the dots here. I, however, am not that person. I blamed it on something I ate and carried on. That night, I made another big mug of my miracle tea, convinced I just needed to let my body adjust. Day 2. Worse. The morning hangover feeling was now accompanied by intense stomach cramps, a pounding headache, and muscle weakness. I was sluggish, foggy, and had zero energy. Every time I ate, my stomach turned into a war zone. My digestive system had become an unholy nightmare. By day 3, I was genuinely concerned. I felt like I had food poisoning, but nothing else in my diet had changed. Desperate, I grabbed the jar of tea and read the label again. And that's when I saw it. You should begin with half a teaspoon per serving and increase gradually to 1 teaspoon. Guess what I had been using? 2 heaping tablespoons per cup. Turns out the main ingredient was a high-dose herbal laxative meant to be taken in tiny amounts. I had been chugging enough to cleanse a small village. The night I became the house party horror story. All right, so let me preface this by saying I am not usually this person. I like to think I'm relatively responsible when it comes to drinking. But last night I became someone's cautionary tale. So I got invited to this house party by a guy I'd been seeing. We'll call him L. He's fun, outgoing, and knows everyone. So when he asked if I wanted to tag along, I thought, why not? I didn't know the host, but apparently neither did half the guest list, so I figured I wouldn't stand out. Bad decision number 1, pre-gaming solo. I have terrible social anxiety, so I thought a drink or two at home would help me loosen up. I had already had wine with lunch, but that totally slipped my mind because I was too focused on hyping myself up. So I arrived at the party feeling confident, but already buzzed. Bad decision number 2, underestimating just how much drinking I'd be doing once I got there. The party was packed, and Elle was basically a social butterfly, introducing me to everyone. I wanted to keep up, so I kept drinking. Beer, vodka, some questionable jungle juice. I lost count fast. Then came the drinking games. Would you rather, never have I ever, truth or dare. You name it, I played it. I shared things I would never say sober, did dares I shouldn't have done, and at some point I was dancing on the coffee table before someone gently but firmly told me to get down before I broke my neck. Bad decision number 3, ignoring all the warning signs that my night was about to take a turn. The last thing I clearly remember is L sitting with me in a bedroom, looking concerned while I repeatedly assured him I was totally fine. I was very much not fine. I felt nauseous, but my drunk brain refused to go to the bathroom because I didn't want to be that person. Instead, I told L I just needed some air. He opened a window for me. That's when it happened. I threw up, violently out the window. It wasn't just a little bit either. It was the kind of scene you'd see in a comedy movie. This morning, when I was making my shameful exit, I saw it. The splatter. Right outside the front entrance. Everyone had definitely seen it. Everyone had definitely figured out it was me. The next thing I remember is waking up on the host's couch, head pounding, stomach in knots, and absolutely no memory of how I got there. The host, to her credit, was surprisingly kind about the whole thing. She told me Elle wanted to take me home, but she convinced him to just let me sleep it off. Which why? I apologized profusely, ran to the bathroom to throw up, properly this time, and didn't even bother looking for my missing clothes before leaving. Now I want to curl up in a ball and never leave my room again. I got scammed by a fake job, then used it to land a real one. So I actually fell for a fake job scam. Yep, thought I was finally making a career move, only to get absolutely played. But somehow it ended up working in my favor. I graduated college a year early, thinking I was ahead of the game. Instead, I spent over a year working a completely unrelated job and feeling like I had wasted the extra effort. Eventually, I got fed up and started applying everywhere again, determined to finally break into my actual field. That's when I got the call. A company reached out about a remote customer service agent position. Not exactly IT, but a step in the right direction. So I was optimistic. They interviewed me, took all my info, and told me I'd be in a 2-month probationary training period. Paid at the end of it. Everything seemed legit at first. They gave me daily assignments, provided training materials, and even set me up with an online portal. A full month passed and I was supposed to be paid in 6 weeks. But then things started getting weird. First red flag, I got a call from a random woman in Texas asking why I added her on Zelle. I had no idea what she was talking about. Second red flag, a couple of weeks later, I received an email saying my banking information had been successfully transferred to a new financial institution, which I never authorized. Final red flag, and the biggest one. I got a call from a guy claiming to be with the FBI, saying I was under investigation for stealing $3,000 from someone's bank account. He was not an FBI agent, but at this point my scam radar was blaring. That email and the FBI call both happened within 30 minutes. I immediately called my bank, locked my account, and reported potential fraud. Turns out I had been part of some elaborate scam operation, though I never found out exactly how they were using me. The funniest part? I actually did the work they assigned me, even though I knew the money was never coming. But here's where things take a turn. I wasn't about to let 2 months of effort go to waste. Instead, I added the experience to my resume, making it look like I had been working in my field all along. I listed responsibilities, skills, and even crafted a glowing recommendation letter from my fake boss. Companies couldn't actually contact this job, but they could check out the website, which looked real enough for verification. And guess what? It worked. Shortly after, I landed an actual IT job, one that finally put me on the career path I wanted. So technically, I lied on my resume, but did I really? Which of these fails is the worst? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if you laughed or felt the pain. Subscribe so you don't miss more crazy stories.